Yo, what's going on, true Blazer fans? It's Torey, and I'm back with another Monday mailbag. Now, before we jump into this week's mailbag, I got a short little channel update. These Monday mailbags are probably going to be the videos where I give any channel updates that I need to give, and especially this week because we didn't really have as many questions as we did in weeks past. So I said in the past that I was going to do day after recaps for Blazer games, just recapping the game the night before on the day after. I will not be doing that for the preseason. It just makes no sense to. One, the game has no flow, or the game has no meaning. We'd probably just be talking about individual players, so it just makes more sense to do one big preseason recap right before the regular season when we have that 6 days off. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll probably give a short little recap on every player on the roster and what I liked from them from this year's preseason and what I didn't like. Number two, we're still trying to figure out the best and most efficient way to get footage on those day after recaps. In those recaps, I'm gonna have my footage lining up with what I'm talking about, and to make that happen, we're kind of trying to figure out the best process possible. We're trying to figure out the most efficient way. So there will be day after recaps during the regular season starting on October 19th, which of course will be the day after opening night against the Los Angeles Lakers. We also just launched a Patreon page which will allow you guys to support us and help us grow. As you've seen on the past couple of videos, there's been a Patreon link saying grow with us, and we want to do bigger things with this channel. We just have no money coming in from it, and we're spending a lot of hours putting stuff out for free. So if you guys want to help us grow, if you guys want to grow with us, feel free to donate down in the description box below. There will be that Patreon link, and you guys can really help us out with any contribution whatsoever. We will also come out with a video hopefully in the next week kind of detailing with it. I'm gonna film that with Eric. It'll be the first video we're doing where we're actually together on a video. You know, we are a team even though we do a lot of stuff separately, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Also, thank you guys for the support recently. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers, and it's pretty cool just to see us steadily grow this channel. One last thing, make sure to leave a question down below in the Monday mailbag comment section for a chance to be featured in next week's mailbag. We only had a couple questions this week, and I want a little bit more. I want 6 or 7 good questions is probably the best amount to have, so make sure you leave a question down there. With that being said, let's jump into the couple of questions that we had in this past week. Chris Jesus asks, do you think our coaching staff is good enough to take any team deep into the playoffs? PS, new sub, the videos are great, keep it up. Thanks for the support and thanks for your question. You said any team, so if our coaching staff coached the Golden State Warriors, they'd still be winning championships. But in terms of what I think you're asking, I don't think our coaching staff is a good playoff coaching staff. I think they're good in the regular season when you don't really have to make a lot of adjustments and when your system isn't heavily scouted. In playoffs, I think it's a whole nother story because one, I think Stotts sucks at making adjustments, and a playoff series is adjustments from game to game. It's like a chess match, and Stotts sucks at playoff chess. Number two, I think our offense is easily guardable. It's a lot of basic high pick and roll, and you saw what the Pelicans did last season when they trapped it and blitzed it and made it so that we couldn't really run any sort of set offense. Stotts doesn't really have enough sets that are different from kind of the main philosophy, which is kind of try and flow, but it all runs through Dame and CJ and a lot of high pick and roll. If our pick and roll gets shut down, if Dame gets trapped, we have a very tough time in the playoffs, and Stotts doesn't really seem to be able to adjust from it. He doesn't use Dame off ball enough. Now this preseason they have used Dame off the ball more, and it looks very, very good, and Dame's been playing very, very well, and I think that's the best way to counteract a team that's blitzing his pick and rolls is to just have him running around baseline and running off of screens instead. It's harder to trap a screen when you're chasing somebody, trailing them. And when a guard's curling off a screen from a big man, the defender guarding that big man, it's a lot harder for them to see the screen that's about to happen, so they're a lot less ready to trap that screen. And number three, we don't have enough defensive versatility. We don't really trap pick and rolls. We ice pretty much everything. We go over on pretty much every screen. We like to give up mid-range jumpers, and this has burned us in playoffs in years past when Chris Paul just got his favorite shot, which is a mid-range shot, just constantly, again and again. That Clippers series before he got hurt. Going back to the Grizzlies series, Bino Udrih was not a three-point shooter, but we were going over screens on him and giving up a mid-range shot, which he was much, much better at. He burned us in the playoffs. We're talking about Bino Udrih? Bino Udrih. I don't even know exactly how to say his name. but he burned us in the playoffs. So I just think this coaching staff is better for a developmental team, a team trying to get out of the lottery and maybe make a playoffs, a team trying to develop players, because Stotts is very good at empowering players. I don't think this coaching staff is built for postseason success, but that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about that. Cole Glandon said, Terrence Jones signing? Our roster is full, so I don't see how we could sign Terrence Jones. I wasn't a fan of the Stauskas signing, so if we hadn't signed Stauskas, then, you know, maybe that would make sense just for some interior depth, because Myers still isn't doing the little things, and Caleb Swanigan looks horrible this preseason. It wouldn't be a bad signing at all, but we don't have the roster spot. The Brennanator with a two-part question. Number one, if we do start Collins at the 4, would you rather start Aminu or Harkless at the 3? I like starting Aminu at the 4 because he can switch with Harkless at the 3. Harkless and Aminu are switchable. But if we were to start Collins at the 4, I do like Harkless at the 3. He's a little bit better shooter. I think he's a little bit better guarding the perimeter than Al-Farouq Aminu. I also like Harkless playing off of Nurkic because Harkless is a very good cutter and moves well without the ball, and I want to see Nurk fever and his passing especially return this season, where he's throwing dimes from the high post. And when he came over for that 20-game stretch right after he got traded, he was throwing a lot of dimes to Maurice Harkless, who was curling off a lot of screens and moving well without the ball. So I think Nurkic and Harkless are a good fit on the court together. And our final question comes from the Nurkic player analysis. If you haven't seen that, make sure to go check it out. Beephead2 said, great video as always, Torey. What about having Plumlee made our defense so lackluster? The thing is, Mason Plumlee was actually a pretty good positional defender. He just didn't have enough length and enough height to be able to effectively contest and block shots. If you look at his advanced defensive stats, he's actually rated as a good defender, but Nurkic, in my opinion, is elite just with his shot blocking, how he's always pretty much in the right spot on defense, how he's able to jump quickly given his size. So I don't think having Plumlee made our defense lackluster, because I don't think he's a lackluster defender. I think our defense was lackluster with Plumlee because he just wasn't elite enough to make up for the deficiencies with Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. And Dame and CJ improved last season as well, so that also helped with our defensive improvement. It wasn't just Nurkic. I just think Nurkic is so elite that he's able to make up for so many deficiencies that Plumlee just could not. Anyway, thank you guys for your questions. We got a CJ McCollum player analysis coming out tomorrow because I gotta finish this series. I was supposed to finish it before preseason, but we're running out of time. So I got CJ McCollum's player analysis coming out tomorrow. That should be a very interesting video, and I hope you guys check it out and enjoy it. After that, we'll have Damian Lillard's player analysis coming out in the next week, and then we'll be done with that series, which will actually feel like an accomplishment because I'm excited just to get these final 2 videos out on our backcourt stars and then just be done with it. I hope you guys are enjoying the analysis and the full highlights, and I hope you guys have a great week ahead. This has been Torey. Peace out. Go Blazers.